Hello again, now it's time for Pokemon Black and White Adventures Unova and Beyond Episode 4 review, Crowning the Scalchop King. We open on many Oshawott, Dewott, and their trainers. Harrison and Silent make light of this, with Silent wondering if it has to do with the next destination. Porter comes over and asks Ash and the others they're enjoying their trip. Ash asks where the ship is headed. Porter says it's Scalchop Island and they hold the Scalchop King competition. Naturally, Ash and Oshawott are excited. Just warning you now. If I didn't enjoy this episode in Japanese, it's going to be another day while I'm in rant mode. Now's a good time to go watch something else. They reach the island, and Ash and Silent are in awe at how the island is full of Scalchop food and merchandise. Given my talk on Pokemon Origins contained that I'm an older fan of the franchise, I am indeed old enough to remember when you could walk into a store and every aisle had something with Pokemon on the label. I imagine Pokemon Origins comes out, it'll be a moment in time when Pokemon is monumentally huge again. When it's covered on the news extensively and all the goods are hard to find in the hands of eBay scalpers or both. Once again, we see Freddy the commentator and Scalchop costume introduced in the competition. The grand prize is solid gold Scalchop. It was helped by a woman who's like the one who holds cards in boxing matches. Team Rocket is after Pikachu, but they also want the gold Scalchop. They decide to multitask and get both. I know what they mean. Often when I'm watching these episodes, I take notes on them. I often check Facebook, watch other shows, and read TV tropes. Of course, Meowth mentions they have no Oshawott Dewott for their scheme. I've seen James call otherwise, and Meowth knows what's next and doesn't like it. Back at the competition, Freddy introduces Scalchop Queen Oshawott. Oshawott is the name of her. Sure don't want to turn back? Sure they could still protect us in good videos. The prize for winning Oshawott Dewott will be staying with her on their own throne. Well, since you're staying, I might as well continue. Oshawott goes after Oshawott, but then Dewott hits him. When Ash asks his trainer why, the trainer's giving the most pompous, douchey ways he is possible when he says he got too close to Queen. Even more, he says Oshawott will be the queen of his Dewott named Caesar. The way he talks about him, that winded voice, that suit, that hair. He's been here for exactly 1 minute, and I already want to douse some nacho cheese and feed him to betray it. Naturally, Ash and I share my contempt for this trainer. His name is Cadbury. Sadly, he doesn't sell cream from held chocolate eggs. He just acts so stuck up that every line sounds utterly painful. In fact, I will not call him Cadbury. Much like I call Peter's Ash Crazy Bill and Cameron Orange Moron, I will hereby refer to him as Douchey Asa. Judges are Don, George, and Destroy, with Queen Oshawott being watching the whole thing. So, let the games begin! The first competition is judging Scalchop's beauty and color. The turn comes from Ash's Oshawott and everybody loves it. Of course, it's Caesar's turn and he wins this round. Douchey Ace even gloats about it. As a person who works odd jobs, returns soda cans, and pawns who don't need or want anymore to buy most of my Pokemon games and merchandise, I simply despise characters like him. Oh. And Oshawott and Caesar also share their traits and animosity towards each other. Caesar may be in evolved form, but if their trainer is incompetent or a total asshole, I cannot support them because of what they're using Kyurem on level 2 Bidove. Damn Meowth is dressed as Dewott. It usually happens when Team Rocket schemes involve contests. And James is even prepared custom Scalchops. The aliases this time are Just B and Jason, with Meowth participating as Mewott. Mewott blatantly takes a Scalchop out of a grocery bag, and they're even oversized. The crowd has a brief silence and applauds wildly. Typical, given that Unova represents a country whose majority would rather see grown-ups tour than Pacific Rim. Next up is a Scalchop Flame, where the contestants throw their Scalchop at a target. Ash Oshawott Flames just barely hits the edge of the target. It's okay, suck at darts too. Caesar gets a double bullseye, much to the amazement of the Asian ass. Once again, Douchey Asa gleats about it, even addressing Ash as a peasant. Go to hell, you stunted slime. Mew hot flames his Scalchop. Totally misses, but Meow takes on OC controller guided to the target, and so how they cracks it. The crowd is stunned at this. Now, the next event is Brick Raid. Oshawott doesn't know it, but they don't mean the attack. Instead, they must break actual bricks with their Scalchops. The lead, Ash encourages Oshawott. Caesar is first, and Douchey Asa says it will be easy as falling off a log. Wonderful. Now he's reached Shyamalan levels of clunky dialogue. On top of that, his voice actor's delivery is amazingly wooden. Even after Caesar breaks enough bricks for advance, I don't think his workspace is an octave at all. He's making no advance seem enthusiastic. Next is Meowth's turn, and he exclaims oy vey at the prospect of breaking bricks. I noticed that when Jimmy Zappi took over his Meowth's voice, Meowth uses an increasing amount of Yiddish in his dialogue. As opposed to all that different from Nathan Price and Matty Bless and giving him the mannerisms of Prohibition Chicago gangster, but it's much weirder. Meowth bakes enough brick to stay in the competition. Lastly, it's time for Oshawott to try. He has to break at least 10 bricks to stay in the contest, so he steps up. He makes the same amount of bricks that Caesar did. Next, it's time for the Scalchop performance. They was putting on a show for the crowd, so it's pretty much like contest appeals. While I did find them to be fun time wasters in the games, I haven't missed them in the anime. It also not took me twice as long to beat the games because how time consuming contests are compared to battles, to the point where I saw the Pokémon musical and Pokémon is more than welcome replaced in both the games and anime. Anyway, Caesar uses Aqua Jet in the Panamix Rainbow. This impresses the crowd and judges. Ash's Oshawott follows up with Aqua Jet. He does fine, but gets distracted by Oshawott and crashes headfirst into Ash. Ash Joy deems it unforgivable. No, unforgivable is Gets' treatment of Pokemon on his plans, using his adopted in and trying to kill you, the player. Unforgivable is Paul treating his Pokemon like living weapons, tossing them away like garbage, not meeting his web standards. What does it be? This is a slide that only compares to walking out of the bathroom and public is noticing how toilet paper stuck to your shoe. Lastly, it's Meowth's turn. He starts bouncing on a trampoline for his appeal and waving his Scalchops. The crowd is replacing the accepting of it. Then Meowth's makeup comes off and his costume falls apart. Typically how he's ousted in these schemes. Now, Team Rocket reveals himself and he tries to kill the gold Scalchop. Pikachu shocks Meowth's Scalchop sense and blasting off. Now comes the final round. A battle between Caesar and Oshawott. This is your last chance to bail out and watch something else. I guess the end of the episode is coming. Ash says this is it, and Douchey Ace never thought they'd make it this far. Caesar allows his Douchey Ace to complain and proclaim Caesar will have Austria in his hand. I want to put him in his place so much. Battle begins with Aqua Jet against Aqua Jet. Caesar wins the initiative with Douchey saving Duwatt's powers in evolved form. Ash's power not alone doesn't win battles. Agree. Even the Pokemon have lower levels type disadvantages, fight will surprise anyone if they know one that beats them. Next, Hydro Pump against Hydro Pump. Caesar wins again and follows up with Surf. Have TMs and agents ever appeared in the anime? I've seen some of them in the manga like Special Electric Tail Pikachu, but I don't think they've appeared in the anime yet. If they do, it would explain so many moves that Pokemon learn they can't know in gameplay. Ash is on what counts Aqua Jet and the two of them back. Douchey Ace suggests settling the Scalchop as the concept of themes. Otherwise he suggests forfeiture. As agrees with the former, but limited circumstances will be done by asking the way Caesar and Douchey Ace have acted. So Caesar and Ash also what draw the Scalchops and use Razor Shell. Given that El Pickwick Master Pickwick does this the Watt Saber, we'll be playing Battle of the Heroes Duel of Fates over this scene. A Razor Shell's class, but Caesar draws his other Scalchop with a double Razor Shell. Aqua Jet combine and finish with Ash's Oshawott. Ash's Oshawott combines with its own Rocket Jet and Razor Shell. They clash and Oshawott has won. Now, they accept the Golden Scalchop and his place in Oshawatt's side. He will reign for 1 year and become the symbol of Scalchop Island and alongside his queen. This means Ash must leave Oshawott. I like this idea. Typically, when Ash leads a Pokemon behind on his travels, it means that they do still grow stronger than before, not because Ash is dumping a vital part of his team. In most cases, it's what the Pokemon want as well. At times, this is Pikachu's goodbye, the definitive episode of the video series, or maybe even the entire franchise, because he wants his Pokemon to be happy, but they choose to stay with him. That last one, I'll get to it, but I'm also going to use it in my rant right now. So, it's the usual deal where we have a flashback of every battle, try to help Oshawott grow as a Pokemon. It's a wonderful scene that is immediately botched by what happens next. Oshawott chooses Caesar, and Douchey Ace remarks his non-moving snide how he gets a happy ending. Oshawott's heart and Scalchop then break with his tail. This is absolute horse shit. Let's just say Caesar's on a bunch of alien blocks to a great beat of tranquilizer while you're at it. So as Caesar's crowned Scalchop King, everyone heads off to the next destination, and now crown Cadbury the biggest douche in the Pokemon anime. Yes, even bigger than Paul. Same basic principle as Powerpuff Girls one-shot villain Dick Harley being considered worse villain in one episode than him was in the entire series. This episode has not gotten any better on repeated viewings. Even if that was to exclude the fact the character that day was agnostic all get out, this was not the best way to handle this plot. Generally, target audience of the anime is generally about 6 to 11-year-old boys, meaning they can take like and dislike in a period of about 3 to 5 years. While Shuffle may have intentionally tried to target a considerable amount of fans of teenagers 20 since before Pokemon Origins, they have at least acknowledged it with past returns, and the characters and certain events only older fans will understand, and now A series of story structures similar to the season's Start Everything, and between the clean HD reimaginings of your favorite episodes. With Pokémon Origins slated to air in Japan on October 2nd, I noticed reception of Team Asia has been uniformly positive. I still mean what I said in thoughts on the matter. I don't hate Ash. I wasn't one of the people who want just gut me anime in favor of two of the games. I openly admit to liking the show even if the story structures formulaic and the characters meant by timeless or not aging. Giving the majority what they want, they're doing it in a way that gives me what I want. Storyline that's dark, but not too dark. Characters are accurate representation of the video games rather than exaggerations of them. Animation that's so well made, it looks like Hayao Miyazaki itself took over production. But drawing that comparison as the day or date gets closer. So, even if plots get recycled and the characters are flat Highlanders, as other aspects of the franchise become intensely plot and character driven, it's still a wonderful franchise that I'm a fan of because I find it cool and I find it fun. With this on the table, I say that I continue to enjoy Pokémon in all in its many forms. We finally, this episode 1.5 stars out of 4. With these most recent Pokémon videos, and I make a lot of them in a year, I have changed my mind about returning to the current Pokémon episode views. Instead, I will cover the XY anime and Pokémon Origins. Looked into it more, it's going to be special, like how the Black Toe and White trailers won. Both these on the table, on probability, I'll take what they wanted and they have it. Best Casino will be a massive blockbuster in the advanced stars of the Avengers. Everybody, regardless of age or interest, wants to see it. See you, Space Cowboy.